EMDR is an evidence-based psychotherapy practice
that can be used for anything that's stuck and causing yuck, is how I like to think about it. So when we have experiences that overwhelm our nervous system, just like your digestive system if you eat too much food, right? Your digestive system gets overwhelmed and you feel nauseous or bloated or a lot of pain or cramping, and your digestive system wants to digest, but sometimes it gets overwhelmed and it can't process all the stuff you've put into it. So your nervous system is the same, and sometimes too much has happened or an experience has been way too overwhelming and it gets stuck in your nervous system. And that causes symptoms like anxiety and depression or panic or hypervigilance, cravings, urges, all those things. And so EMDR helps to target those experiences that have gotten stuck and helps your nervous system metabolize them and digest them so that you are left just feeling pretty good and over those experiences that got stuck.
And we know it works. It works for a lot of different things. It was originally researched for PTSD, and now we know that it works for things like chronic pain, addiction, and just a myriad of different issues. So it's an 8-phase model.
We start with doing some foundations and preparing you for the work, and then we move into reprocessing when we're ready. And in reprocessing, we use what's called bilateral stimulations.
Our brains are the best at processing stressful information when they're being bilaterally stimulated. The short of this is, have you ever been stressed out and then gone for a walk or worked out and suddenly things just seem to move and you felt more integrated, more grounded? That's bilateral working. What we see is in the brain when there's bilateral stimulation is that our minds have to tune into what's true externally in the moment and not get pulled back into what was true in our past.
There's so many ways to engage with EMDR therapy, which I love. What tends to happen is you start in a starting place together, and where you go, it impacts so many spheres of your life that you couldn't have anticipated. So things that you didn't know could be different or better are then different and better. Your relationships can improve, your work life can improve. There's just lots of impact and ripples that can come from EMDR.
My favorite applications of EMDR therapy are just with any human who has a narrative of shame about themselves or who has a narrative of discomfort or a history that they've been through that they just don't like. So the tagline of EMDR is anything that is not stored in a positive state can be then stored in a positive state. You then get a chance to see yourself in a new way and have that stored in a really adaptive way that just kind of makes you put your shoulders back and go, I'm awesome.
It's really about changing things at a deep and a lasting way that it lasts so that there's just not so much coming up to cope with. That to me is really healing, and that just moves people towards a life that is more fully expressed, a full life, vitality.
That's really, I think, the most powerful thing about EMDR. It changes people's lives.